Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name's Hussein. Happy to be with you. Happy you could be with me. God bless you. And before we delve into the Muhammad hijab situation, which, boy, this thing isn't. If he was hoping that this was going to blow over, it doesn't look like it's blowing over. And there's a lot going on. It's bad. But yeah, I wanted to look today. I don't know if you guys were watching. Christian Prince was doing something about the Ali Dawah video. And while he was doing that, another video came out, which is the video about the father of um, the girl. And so it's a short video, but I want to play it. It's in Arabic, and I'll translate it. I listened to it, and it just reminded me of my relatives. So I was like, oh my goodness. Uh, so just I was telling my wife to look at the butterfly. See how the blue light on the butterfly, how it's like a perfect square around it? It's just perfect. It's like the butterfly's right in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, bullfrogs and butterflies have both been born again. So, anyway, right before we delve into the Muhammad hijab drama, you know, um, I just wanted to look at, today is what's considered Holy Wednesday. For Passion Week, Holy Week, we had Sunday was the triumphal entry when Jesus went into Jerusalem riding on the donkey, and with all that entailed. Then you had Monday when um he overturned the tables and drove out the money changers and did all the controversy. Tuesday was the day when all of the Pharisees came and confronted him, and Jesus spoke three parables. There was three questions from the Jews, from the Pharisees, from the Sadducees, and from the lawyers. And then there was also the cursing of the fig tree. So, so it was a very eventful day, and the the Olivet discourse where Jesus told us what's going to happen at the end of the world. Yes. Oh, it's already Monday, Thursday over there. Yes. For us, it's still the tail end of Holy Wednesday. And Holy Wednesday is not a huge event happened, except for one big event, and that is that Judas went to the high priests to agree to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. So this is considered the day. Let's just look at what it says. Now this isn't actually the time when he did it, but this is when he agreed to do it. Okay, this is when he agreed to go and betray, to sell Jesus. Okay, Holy Wednesday. This is in Matthew 26:14-16. It says, Then one of the 12 the disciples, the one named Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests. What will you give me if I betray Jesus to you? They counted out 30 silver coins and gave them to him. From then on, Judas was looking for a good chance to hand Jesus over to them. So, yeah, it was wow. Yeah, let's just look at Matthew 26:14-16 and see if it's it. Okay, that's exactly what it says. Wow, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And so, yeah, that's what, and as with, especially with Monday, uh, uh, this is such a significant, I believe it is here, such a significant event prophetically, um, especially with regard to the prophet Zechariah. The prophet Zechariah has some of the most amazing prophecies. I mean, his prophecies are so detailed. It's so phenomenal. So let's just look at what this is what he predicted like 700 years before Jesus. Uh, and I told them, if you think it's best, give me my pay. But if not, keep it. So they paid me 30 pieces of silver. You know, if it was just one piece of silver less, the prophecy would have failed. If they gave 29 pieces, or if it would have been one piece of silver more, 31 pieces, the prophecy would have failed. But it was exact 30 pieces of silver. And I'm so amazed that the high priests didn't think about this when they agreed with Judas to betray Jesus. I'm so amazed that they didn't think about this because they knew the prophecies. Remember when the Magi came and the Magi said, "Where is he to be born, the King of the Jews?" And they said, "He's to be born in Bethlehem," because of the prophecy says, "Oh, thou Bethlehem." But they didn't think about this prophecy. So I took the 30 pieces, the 30 pieces of silver. I'm just so kind of like, wow, these guys knew the scripture so well, and yet they didn't think that they were fulfilling this prophecy, this devastating prophecy. I told them, if you think it's best, give me my pay, but if not, keep it. So they paid me 30 pieces of silver. Then look what it says. And the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter, the handsome price at which they valued me. You know what? I just want to see. I just want to see this. I want to see this in Blue Letter Bible. Okay. Zechariah 11. Okay. Okay. The Lord said unto me, look, the Lord is Jehovah. Jehovah, Yahweh. Yahweh said to me, cast to the potter a goodly price that I was prized at of them. So, right there, Jesus is saying he is God because it's the Lord, it's Yahweh. Okay. In the English, they translate it to Lord, but in the Hebrew, it's Yahweh. Yahweh said to me, cast to the potter the goodly price that I was prized at of them. Wow. Dang. Zechariah, man. This guy was killed. This prophet was killed, Jesus said, between the altar and the house of the Lord. His prophecies are so detailed. It's devastating. I mean, you know, I put him, I see him on a level like Isaiah. It's just amazing. His prophecies are so detailed, and just and the about the deity of Christ. It's so amazing. I love Zechariah. Okay, but it says, cast it to the potter, the goodly price at which I was prized at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. Exactly what Judas did. There's three prophecies. There's three prophecies in these two verses right here. One is the 30 pieces of silver. Two is that it be thrown. Three, where it would be thrown into the house of the Lord. And actually four prophecies, because it says to the potter, because they used the money to buy a potter's field. Wow. So anyway, this is phenomenal. This is what happened on Holy Wednesday, is that Judas went to agree with the priest, to agree with the priest to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. So he was looking for an opportunity. Wow. Yes. So, all right. Well, let's just pray and give thanks to the Lord. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for Holy Wednesday. Lord, thank you for what you endured that day, the rejection that you felt from your friends, especially from Judas, the pain, the betrayal, and all that you knew was coming up, and yet you endured it for us. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. All right. Well, the saga of Muhammad Hijab continues, and you kind of hate to ruin the atmosphere of Holy Week to talk about Muhammad Hijab. Okay, but this stuff just keeps coming nonstop. It's almost like pouring like rain. In fact, I probably should go see, make sure another video hasn't come out already. I mean, it's pretty huge. Behind the veils. I was just going to do something that responding to what Ali Dawah did, because Ali Dawah did his his response, and it was a joke, but then her father actually came out and said something. It's very short, but you know what, this thing wow, it's not blowing over. So you guys know the story. For those of you who don't, there's nobody in the planet who doesn't know, or especially among our group. But essentially, Muhammad Hijab. There was this woman who divorced her husband, and after she divorced her husband, she was looking for some counsel. She's very active in the dawah scene. She has a table. She does dawah, and she apparently has 10 girls that she deals with. So when she was going through her divorce, she was looking for counseling. And so somehow she got in touch with Muhammad Hijab, and he wanted to help counsel her. And while he's apparently trying to counsel her, he started having feelings and desires to get to know her better, possibly marry her. and and so he started talking to her about it, and he talked to her father. She said that he had to talk to the father, and so he talked to her father, yes, about the Misyar marriage. And by the way, guys, everybody, when they talk about this, they say Hotel California. I wrote the song. It has Hotel California music. So you guys need to promote it more. So, especially Christian Prince, he always calls it Hotel California. But anyway, um, Muhammad Hijab told her, let's get married, and then he talked to the father, but then all of a sudden he didn't something happened and he didn't want to, and then he disappears, I guess, for like 8 months. And then after 8 months he says, you know what, we need to do this. We need to do this. We need to go through with it, get married and everything. And she says, well, you're going to have to talk to my father again. And he said, okay. So he talked to her father again, and the father agreed because I guess she was enamored. She loved him so much, and she says, yeah, yeah. So she was enamored, and so the father said, okay. Apparently, the father's very old, and I don't know which country he's in. I don't know if he's in England. I don't think he's in England, but so the father agreed, and they did a little, instead of going and doing a big wedding like, you know, Arab style weddings, they did this tiny little thing. I think it was a Zoom, or kind of like one of his Zoom weddings that he does. And McDonald's, McDonald's, uh, um, what's it called? Where does it go? The dowry, a McDonald's sandwich. So they did all that, had two witnesses and stuff like that. And then after they got married and consummated it, then mahar, thank you. I forgot the word. You know, um, After they consummated it, the Muhammad Hijab tells her, this is what she says. Muhammad Hijab tells her that, you know what, the best thing for us is to let's just be like boyfriend and girlfriend. And he says, the best thing that works out for me, I just want you to be my hotel side chick, and I'll come and visit you in the hotel. This is the best thing for me. And I think it's the best thing for you, because he was thinking about her too, of course. And he didn't want to talk about paying her bills, didn't want to talk about her daughter, didn't want to talk. He just said, this is the best thing for me, is just, I'll come visit you, we'll meet up at the hotel. And he even at one point, according to her, said, let's just fly to another country and just live our lives, even though she has a daughter, you know. Um, so this is what she said. This is her story. Well, today, his friend, let me see. Okay. Just before we go to her father, uh, let me see if I could. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I could pull this up, because Ali Dawah did something too. And okay, so let's just look a little bit at what Ali Dawah did, because Ali Dawah is a very faithful friend, and so he's a very good friend of Muhammad Hijab. And she went to Ali Dawah, and they did an interview but she did not tell Ali Dawah that this was Muhammad Hijab that she was talking about. She was in lots of pain, and so she wanted to go get her story out. Ali Dawa did the interview with her, and I guess it was like an hour interview or something. But he did not know that it was about Muhammad Hijab. When he found out it's about Muhammad Hijab, apparently, or maybe he did know by then. I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking at first he didn't know that it was about Muhammad Hijab. Then he agreed to do the interview, but then he found out it's about Muhammad Hijab, but he still did the interview. And so what some people think is he did the interview so he could get information. Okay, I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if that's what happened, but he did the interview, but he did not air the interview. And he says the interview's gone. Okay. And to make things worse, Ali Dawa came out in defense of Muhammad Hijab today. And I'm really disappointed in him because one thing he does is he tells her real name. And I think, I don't know if that qualifies as doxing. I mean, I know Hatun Tash did a thing about Muhammad Hijab's mafia. Are they endangering this girl's life by doing this? I mean, this thing is getting serious. And so let's just look a little bit at what Ali Dawa did. And okay. Okay. Jeez. Okay.
As a god.
That if no one would like to get me help with this, I would go to the most vile of the vilest of.
See, and this is something that everybody is also the Muhammad Hijab defenders. All the Muhammad Hijab defenders are playing these same two things, which is that she is saying that she considered him a god. Now, she's always talking about Allah. She's always talking about how she prays to Allah and istighfar, and she does this prayer and she does dawah. She knows what Allah is in Islam. Okay. And so when she says she thought of him as a god, they are really blowing this out of proportion, making a big deal out of it as saying, see, she's shirk. She's putting Muhammad Hijab on the level of a god. She obviously doesn't think that. She just meant it, how highly she regarded him because he was such a huge figure in her life. To her, he was just like a god, and but they are using this. I've seen at least 3 of these videos defending Muhammad Hijab, and they always play this part. See, this is shirk, She considers him a god. It's like, and then there's this part.
I'm in a public place, right? I have no problem even being hand to hand with shaitan.
And then she says, I'll put hand to hand with Satan. Get this thing out. So, you know what? I don't defend her. I don't defend the stuff she did. The whole thing was filthy. The whole thing is terrible. Okay. But it doesn't justify what Muhammad, if he did this, it doesn't justify what he did to her. Okay. And the worst part of this, and I'm hoping the next video, you know what I'm praying, you guys, pray with me. Pray with me that the next video is going to be her coming out saying she is going to leave Islam. Let's hope the next video is her saying, you know what? Everything Muhammad Hijab did is Islamically okay. So I'm leaving Islam. Let's hope that's the next video that comes out, with all the stuff that's happened. And so, but anyway, Ali Dawa does the same thing these other guys are doing and plays this part.
getting this up.
saying, "Look, she's got putting her hand with Satan."
Does he have any children, any kids himself?
Yes, and I'm making dua on.
When I interviewed her, and how this all transpired for me finding out what really happened. Now, in the beginning of the video, guys, you heard some things that were very, very disturbing. And I can remember when I first heard them, I was like, really? Would someone go to this level, no matter how much you hate someone, to say, yes, to his kids' selves? Now, there are people who kill people, who kill children, like the Zionist regime. And every single one of you guys and all of us have come together in the past years condemning the atrocities. And we have been shocked over and over again when Zionists have come and justified their actions to us. So you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when somebody comes and says, not just...
I just want to say, since I am Palestinian, I really don't want the cause of my people to be used by these guys as the distraction. And I know it is the distraction for the whole Muslim world. All Muslim leaders do this. Whenever there's a problem in their country that they can't fix, they say, look at the Jews. Look what the Jews are doing to the Palestinians. That's always what happens. Egypt does it. Jordan does it. Iran does it. Iraq does it. All of them do it. And here, he's trying to do it with this situation. And I just want to say, no, thank you.
Making general dua, I hope his children, this happens to them or something bad happens to them.
Okay, she did do that. And it's despicable that she did that. It's also despicable that she said she will never forgive him. She did say that, but she was angry. She was really in love. And, I'm not justifying what she's doing, but these guys, you see what they're doing is they're trying to focus on those little things to make her look unstable and obsessive and like someone who's mentally ill, to where you overlook what Muhammad Hijab did to bring this about. They just want to make you forget what Muhammad Hijab did. They want to defend Muhammad Hijab by destroying her. So, and that's kind of what it looks to me like what Ali Dawah is doing here.
Go to specific details by saying, I make dua against their self. Going to the violence of...
Ever wondered what your home looks like?
Yeah, I just wanted to show a little bit about what the what Ali Dawah did. It's no surprise that he did this. Of course he's going to do this. And let's listen a little bit more.
Shaitan betrayed you. So from these messages, guys, for somebody, so as yourself, because Salman, you're not just going to get away. We're going to use your standards, bit by bit, one by one, against you. Not in this video. We've got videos coming for you. How? We're going to be listening to Dunya's account of the things that she accuses you of.
Okay, now Dunya, that's the ex-wife of the guy who does Behind the Veils. I tell you guys, this thing can get so ugly. We really need to pray for the protection of these guys, because remember what they did to Mufti, that guy who said something about the Palestinians, and apparently this mafia guys went to his house and to threaten him and terrified his wife and kids. He wasn't home at the time. Okay. And so these guys really are scary, and England doesn't care. They support these guys. And so
and we are going to take her word for it, just to use your standards. And we're going to be seeing in the coming days, when I release those videos and see the stuff that she's accused you of committing zina, there being video footage, that you used to beat her. Yes, you used to beat her. Again, we're going to use your standards.
Okay, now this is about
there's a big question mark on you. And not only that, Muhammad Hijab is not the only person you've attacked. You've accused Omar Suleiman Omar Suleiman of free mixing and flirting with your ex-wife. Again, these were slanderous, because when I spoke to Omar Suleiman, he took an oath by Allah, and I spoke to you. And I'm not going to do what you've done, because I sent you a private message, which, not that I have a problem you mentioned in public. I had nothing to hide. I'm happy that you did. But the point here is the principle. You go and read a private message. Do you remember you sent me a few messages about your ex, Dunya? Yeah?
Okay, now he's talking to the guy who's, behind the veils. He's the guy who's putting all these videos out. And so, dude, this thing is like, wow. It's like the Ammonites and the Moabites going at each other, in the Bible. It's just like the Lord said to Jehoshaphat, said, you just worship the Lord and I'll take care. You just worship the Lord and I'll take care of your enemy. And this, no, I'm not saying there are enemies, but I'm saying that, these guys who are constantly talking against the Christianity, against the Lord, and now look what's happening, how the Lord is exposing. So, by the way, Toothfire, I made a song. It's about From Hotel California, but I was looking for something like what you did there, California. That is perfect. That is perfect. And just because you did that, I'm going to play my song. Okay, you guys, I gotta play this song because nobody's playing it for me. Okay, I've been asking Christian Prince, I've been asking everybody to play it for me. Nobody is playing my song, and so I'm going to play it right now, and so you guys could see it, and then we're going to watch the video of her father. Let me see. By the way, I don't know if Emmanuel Shahid is here. But Emmanuel sent me this. This is the Emmanuel Shahid doll. The Emmanuel Shahid doll. And so, okay. Here's the song I did about this situation. I'm going to play it and then we're going to listen to the father, okay? So. On a dark camel trade way, lice and dirt in my hair, warm smell of poison goat meat rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. Had to stop for the night. Welcome to the hotel, miss your marriage. It is all halal, it is all halal, it is all halal. Renting a room at the hotel, miss your marriage. Any time of year, there's nothing to fear. His words are many and twisted. He's got a British accent. He'll take his shirt off in protest at a Chinese embassy. Up ahead in the distance, there was no light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. Had to stop for the night. Welcome to the hotel, miss your marriage. It is all halal, it is all halal, it is all halal. They're living it up at the hotel, miss your marriage.
What a nice surprise, what a nice surprise. Bring your alibis.
All right. So anyway, I just wanted you to know that I wrote that song. It's up there. You guys need to promote it and get it out there so that I become famous, you guys. Uh, uh, anyway, so yeah. So yeah, Truthfire. If I had seen what you wrote, California, if I had seen that, I would have used that instead of what I did. That's very brilliant. So, all right, you guys. Okay. So anyway, Ali Dawah is doing the same thing that all the Muhammad hijab defenders do, which is to focus on, she said he's a god. They said that she's cursing his kids, which is disgusting, and she shouldn't do it. Or praying against them. They get cancer and stuff. And she wants to do a mubahala. She wants to do a mubahala. Yabaye. Yabaye. She wants to do a mubahala. The mubahala is where the two parties face each other and they call on Allah to curse the one who's lying. And so this thing is really scary. It's really gross. Yeah, the curse. And so anyway, let's look at what the father said, okay? So what the father said was just came out, and dude, you guys, jeepers, you guys, dang. This is the father now, okay? Okay, I'm going to read it to you guys, okay? The following is testimony from the father of the sister who has brought forth allegations against Muhammad hijab. This is one of multiple evidences that will be presented. My goodness, you guys. Oh, Ya Rabbi. If Muhammad hijab stands by his word that he has not misled the public, we challenge him to do a mubahala against the sheikh. The sheikh is the father. And by the way, you guys, I kind of mentioned it just kind of in passing, but I just want to repeat it, that I thought it was bad that Ali Dawah said the name of the girl. I think that was really bad. I think that you shouldn't have done that. I mean, she's a Muslim. You should protect your Muslim sister. But to just out her like that, he said her name is Bushra, and really, really bad. So anyway, that was a really nasty thing to do. So, okay, let's continue here. It says, okay, all right, let's continue. Following is okay. Okay. In the following testimony, he clearly testifies that Muhammad hijab spoke with him twice with respect to seeking his daughter for marriage. The same woman he has publicly tried to character assassinate, coining her as a stalker who was obsessed with him, and someone who was irate after being supposedly rejected. This testimony challenges the deceptive narrative Muhammad hijab has cast to the public. The father has offered testimony to the Islamic Council of Europe. We await a response and an oath from Muhammad hijab. Wow. You guys, the Islamic Council of Europe, this apparently this is something that Muhammad Hijab is part of it, you know, and what is this? Is this like a Sharia court for Europe, like the ICC of Europe? Okay, the Islamic Council of Europe. About us. The Islamic Council educates, empowers Muslims to live upon Islamic guidance. There is a need within the Islamic community for reliable, knowledge-based service in providing solutions and guidance to help with mediation, reconciliation. Will be the premier service provider in arbitration, reconciliation, mediation, catering for Muslim communities, providing guidance, solutions, and Islamic principles. The Islamic Council of Europe aims to help refocus people's lives trying to live in accordance with their beliefs. So, all right. So that is the Islamic Council, you guys. It's a real thing, you guys. Wow. So the oath from Muhammad Hijab, I think that what they're talking about is the Mubahala. So, okay. All right. Let's see what the father has to say here. It reminded me of my dad, you guys. I was sad listening to him. You know?
Alhamdulillah.
This guy's a sheikh too. Okay. Okay, this may be his picture right here. You see his beard, white beard there? You know? Okay, so, you know, this is what he's saying, priest to Allah and all this stuff. And then he says, I am the father of, and he doesn't say the girl's name, but Ali Dawa already said it, but.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Anna Sayyid Abu Sayyid Sayyidi Sheikh, assalamu alaikum marratan ukhra.
Okay, now he's talking to the Sheikh of the Islamic Council. Okay, he's saying he's addressing the Sheikh of the Islamic Council of Europe. Okay, says, I testify before Allah that Mr. Muhammad Nabil Hijab requested my daughter's hand in marriage on 2 occasions via telephone. However, I did not approve of the manner in which he made his request, and I did not like it. So there, you know, he's testifying that, and he's swearing. Okay, he's, you know, I testify, you know, it's like an oath, you know. My daughter had previously told me that Mr. Muhammad Nabil Hijab is a trustworthy individual, according to the testimony of scholars and shuyukh. Shuyukh, you guys, is the plural for sheikh. So this is like imams and the Islamic teachers in Europe. And she said that, remember, she talked about how much she tried to go to the scholars and sheikhs to get them to stand with her when the situation happened with Muhammad Hijab. But what did she find? She found out that they all said, well, Muhammad Hijab didn't do nothing wrong. And you guys, I wonder. Now, I've heard that Muhammad Hijab is part of the Islamic Council of Europe. That would be really dramatic if that is the case. But yeah, wow. And you know, she already went to the scholars and the sheikhs, and she talked to them, and they told her, oh yeah, well, everything he did was totally legit. Totally legit. So I wonder what the Islamic Council, based on, I mean, Misyar marriage is permissible in Islam. So is this principles of Islam, is this Islamic Council of Europe going to go against? Is it going to go against the Islamic teachings? I don't know. By the way, you guys, I just found something interesting. You know what the initials of Islamic Council of Europe is? It's ICE. This is ICE. The Islamic Council of Europe is ICE. So you heard it here first, you guys. You heard it here first. ICE. Yeah. Oh, it seems woke. Okay, well, I don't know, but Muhammad Hijab is part of it, isn't it? So, okay, well, we'll see. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, now this is what the father is saying. He had promised her marriage based on a fatwa he mentioned to her, which stated that it is permissible to marry a woman with the father's consent in absentia, on the condition that the suitor is trustworthy and qualified. That means suitor being Muhammad Hijab, and that a representative wakil acts on behalf of the father. Okay, the wakil is like the one who is like kind of like a responsible person that represents the father.
بأن السيد محمد نبيل حجاب طلب مني يد ابنتي في مناسبتين عبر الهاتف، لكن طريقة طلبه لم ترقني ولم تعجبني، ولقد قالت لي ابنتي سابقا بأن السيد محمد نبيل حجاب ثقة بشهادة الشيوخ العلماء، ولقد وعدها الزواج بموجب فتوى ذكرها لها، وتقول هذه الفتوى بأنه يمكن الزواج من امرأة بعد قبول أبيها غيابيا بشرط كفاءة وثقة الطالب وبوجود وكيل ينوب عن الأب، وعليه أرسلت لابنتي.
Okay, he says, based on that, I sent my daughter a legal authorization, tawkil, to begin the process, and I began on my part the visa procedures to join my daughter in London. However, Mr. Muhammad Nabil did not contact me after the initial calls. So I instructed my daughter to stop the procedures and not to proceed with marriage to Mr. Muhammad. But my daughter informed me that she had already sent him the authorization, tawkil, before the call, in which I discussed the marriage proposal, and I did not like his tone in that call. Yo, boy, remember what according to remember when they were going through the messages, the text messages, and in one of the messages the girl says, well, what am I supposed to say to my father? And if my father asks, I have to tell him that I got married. And Muhammad Hijab, according to those text messages, said, no, just lie to him. Just lie to him. Tell him, and don't tell him that we got married. And the father didn't like Muhammad Hijab. He didn't like his tone, and he didn't approve of his daughter doing this, but it seems like she was so enamored, and especially, she talked about the 8-month period where he talked to him once. They agreed, but then they didn't go through with it, I guess. But then 8 months later, Muhammad Hijab comes back and says, oh, let's do it. Let's get married and do this. And she says, well, you're going to have to talk to my father again. And here the father apparently said that he talked to him twice, but he didn't like what was going on here. But maybe because his daughter was divorced and she was going through a hard time and he really was worried about her, he thought, well, and she's in love with him and he's so famous, and maybe all that came into play here. But my daughter informed me that she had already sent him the authorization before the call, in which I discussed the marriage proposal, and I did not like his tone in that call.
وثيقة للبدء في الإجراءات، وبدأت أنا من جهة إجراءات الفيزا للالتحاق بابنتي إلى لندن، لكن السيد محمد نبيل لم يتواصل معي بعد المكالمة الأولى، فطلبت من ابنتي أن توقف الإجراءات وعدم الزواج بالسيد محمد، لكن ابنتي أخبرتني أنها أرسلت له الوكالة سابقا قبل المكالمة التي كلمته فيها حول الزواج، ولم تعجبني مكالمته. وابنتي
Okay, and then she says, my daughter is now telling me that Mr. Muhammad Nabil is threatening her, telling her not to speak to me or her family about this matter. Yabaye, yabaye, yabaye. So this guy is begging the Sheikh of the Islamic ICE, the ICE Sheikh, Islamic Council of Europe Sheikh. Therefore, dear Sheikh, I ask your honorable self to assist my daughter in annulling any relationship between her and Mr. Muhammad Nabil, and that he leave my daughter alone. May Allah reward you with goodness, and may he be held accountable for using Islamic law for his personal gain. Again, how's he, you know?
بوشرى الآن تخبرني أن السيد محمد نبيل يهددها، حيث قال لها أن لا تتكلم مع أبيها ولا أهلها في هذا الموضوع. ولهذا سيدي الشيخ أطلب من سيادتكم أن تساعد ابنتي لإتمام فسخ أي علاقة بينها وبين السيد محمد نبيل، وأن يترك ابنتي في حالها جزاه الله خيرا، وأن يحاسب في التلاعب بنصوص الشريعة الإسلامية في صالحه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Yep. So there you have it. It was a short message, but man, wow. Wow. So, oh, no, yeah, Muhammad. Oh, Nabil is his father, huh? Nabil Hijab. So, wow. So, yeah. So there you have it, you guys. There. By the way, Truth Defender told me the name of that Mufti whose home was attacked was Mufti Abu Layth. Okay. His home was attacked. Okay. Let's see that. And okay, let's just watch this just a second here. I know David Wood did a video about this. I think they got a short video here about
dirty dog Abu Layth, who disrespect our brothers and sisters of Palestine. Yeah.
this. They're attacking his house, throwing stuff at his window. The wife was screaming.
Come on, motherfucker! Come on, motherfucker!
How are you guys?
You get me, you motherfucker.
Oh, sorry, you guys. I'm sorry.
One. Go by his house. Go by this motherfucker's house.
Wow. Sorry, you guys. Really, really upright, righteous people. And those upright, righteous, holy people. Dang. And so for him to be putting her name out there, is just really bad when you got people like that. So, all right, you guys. Well, that was, it's Holy Week, you guys. And I get a feeling we got more surprises coming up tomorrow. Yeah, it's okay, bro. Actually, I did not play the video, David Wood's video. I played the actual video of the attack, but apparently this was the attackers filming themselves, and so no, that's okay. You know, you know what? You know, I hate to say this. You know, Father Zechariah once said that when he talks about Islam, he defiles his lips, because to talk about this stuff, you got to read this books and what they say, and the Quran and all the terrible things that are in there, and then you defile your lips talking about it, and sorry about that, Jedediah. Sorry about that. Yeah, but you know, that's the reality. That's the reality. Yep. So anyway, I get a feeling we're going to be seeing. In fact, let me just before we go, before we end this, let's just see if there's anything else out right now about this situation, because things are moving so fast and there's so much going on. Oh, what's this? Okay. This is another Muslim guy talking about this. It's a guy named Gabriel. Let me just see what he says. Okay, one of the things people have learned from the words of the earliest prophets is if you don't feel any shame, you do whatever you like. Oh, it's Bukhari. Let me just see this. Okay, I'm just kind of curious because it looks interesting. It looks like an interesting video here. Let's see.
If your neck looks like this, you need to watch this
Okay,
video.
sorry. Yeah.
People of knowledge who they themselves do these things, by the way, on how to do it properly, or how we can, once we standardize it and we normalize it, and because it's part of our deen, by the way, to marry and to have polygyny, and to men and women who have desire towards men, and there's nothing wrong with women having desire, man. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa ashhadu an la ilaha. The internet is going crazy again, and it seems like our ummah, sadly, we wonder why we're not winning Palestine, why we're not winning the wars, why we're being pushed and we're debased and dishonored all over the world. Well, because we are so shallow, and whether right or wrong, whether what's going to happen out of this whole fiasco, bottom line is the way people are responding is incorrect. And that's why, because we're shallow. So what are we talking about? We're talking about this whole Muhammad hijab scandal that people are bringing about. As a behaviorist, a student of behaviorism and psychologists, to understand people's behaviors and to expose certain things, and maybe we can fix certain things, and yes, sometimes to refute certain things. The bottom line is that, first of all, the amount of evidence that's been produced so far, it's at best premature, but yet the amount of comments and condemnation on both sides has been crazy. And again, our ummah needs to chill out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if a person comes to you, Fasik specifically, comes to you with some news, then make sure you check it. Why? Because it might cause you and mislead you and lead you into fitna.
Okay. All right. Well, this is one thing I just want to say at the end here. And you know what, you guys, this is my view, is my perspective, is that this thing is no longer about Muhammad hijab. This is no longer about Bushra or Aisha or Ali Dawa. This is no longer about these people. This is now about Islam. This is about Islam now. Because no matter what they say, this is what Islam allows. And so and you know what's interesting, if you listen to Ali Dawa's spiel, one thing Ali Dawa says, he says to this girl, he says that this isn't just about you anymore. This is about Islam. He's absolutely right. There's one thing I agree with him on that video. Islam is on trial. It's not Muhammad Hijab anymore. It's not Bushra. This is Islam that's on trial right now. And now people are beginning to realize, whoa, this really is Islam. Muslims are beginning to realize. Muslims are beginning, because this is an in-house fight, fitna, between Muslims now. And because of the internet and because of who's involved, it has exploded. And so Islam right now is on trial. The thing about it is that the girl keeps trying to defend Islam. And this guy I just showed you, he's defending Islam. And you know what's going to have to happen is that the cognitive dissonance that, yeah, all these things are allowed by Islam, but this is so embarrassing. But they're stuck with it because Islam allows it. So this is no longer about Muhammad Hijab. It has gone out, it's gone way beyond that. It is about Islam. It's about the Quran. It's about misyar marriage. It's about the Hadith. And so yeah, this is what this is what I really think. I really think that this is about Islam now. So anyway, let's just wait and see. I'm sure in the morning there's going to be there's going to be videos on both sides. There's going to be videos on both sides in the morning. And so we'll just wait and see what the next shoe to fall, so to say. That's how they say it, the next shoe to fall. Somebody says 146, Hadith 146 is going to, let me just look at what that says. Let's see here. I'm not as, okay. It says, yeah. Ya Rab, Ya Rab. Okay, let's look at what Hadith 1. These are the words of Muhammad, so no Muslim should get mad at us. But it says, verily Islam started as something strange, and it would again revert to its old position of being strange just as it started, and it would recede between the two mosques just as the serpent crawls back into its hole. يا باي يا مسلمين ما تزعلوش، هذا كلام محمد في الحديث، حديث صحيح مسلم. غريبة سيعود غريبا كما بدأ وهو يارز بين مسجدين كما تارز الحية في حجرها. So, yep. All right, you guys. Well, shoot. Thank you guys for hanging out with us a little bit, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be Monday, Thursday, and we are very much more interested in Holy Week than we are in the Muhammad Hijab drama. But this thing is just blowing up all over the place, there are 3 people whose prayer does not pass beyond earshot. A woman with whom her husband is displeased throughout the night. Mishkat al-Masabih. Yeah. Tell you what, man, this Islam is this is really about Islam now. Let me just look one more time, you guys, because like I said, things are happening so fast just to make sure there's not some new explosive thing that's happening. If we could just watch this, you guys. I know, I understand if you need to go, I understand, but I would like to look at this. I just think it's very relevant to see this because we all watch this, and we're
consider the things at the man's disposal as a Muslim man.
Stop asking research questions to ChatGPT. Its answers are not reliable, and they are difficult.
On lie detector tests, and they said the following questions: do you love your wife? Yes. Pass. Would you die for her? Yes. Pass. If your wife was okay, would you get a second wife? Yes. Pass. There is not a conflict between a man loving his wife and a man wanting to be polygamous.
I agree. I get the polygamous part. I get the whole wanting to have more intimacy with more than one woman.
Yeah,
but if you can ask the question more accurately, that take on another wife and all the responsibilities that come with another wife, how many men will agree to that?
For example, if one says, I sense that you've got a second wife, can he say, no, I don't?
Yes, you can. You can say that.
You can say that.
Yes, I personally believe this is.
If we sit down and we talk about it, and I take my selfish needs out of it, i.e., me wanting him all to myself, I need to understand them. So I need to sit down and I need to really think about how this is going to affect him. It could lead him into doing zina.
Because my wife she always gave me the sort of the feeling that I could be open with her. I told her at one point that, look, babe, that's the sister.
Is that you? Yeah.
I'm possibly one of.
If we're talking about secret second wife, if my husband has gone behind my back, that to me is cheating, even if it is Islamically correct.
Feminist sisters who love their sisters, who will die for their sisters, will take a bullet for their sisters, but will not share their husbands for their sisters. So the point is this, let me be real, yeah? If you got a good husband, by the way.
I think that's a good place to end it because Ali Dawah's wisdom is just so exalted and so sublime. Father, you guys, Islam is on trial. Islam is on trial right now. The Quran and the Hadith are on trial. And thank you, Muhammad Hijab, for he's the one who brought us the narrative, the holes in the narrative. Now there's holes in his narrative. Islam is on trial. Let's pray that it's 12:13. Shoot, I'd really like to do a song, but I think it's a little bit too late, you guys. But I will do it tomorrow. So come back tomorrow. And so thank you guys for hanging out a little bit. And if you haven't done it on this holy week, do it now. Say, Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Yasur, sa'idni. Yasur, samahni. Yasur, udkhul albi. We love you, but much more importantly, he loves you. So you guys have a wonderful night, and see what happens, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks.
If you have ever wondered why Dawah apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth. This happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.